Age of Empires 2, the most famous RTS game ever. Also one of the most famous games ever. But that's not the game I'm going to be covering today. No, today I'm going to be talking about a different RTS game, a way less popular one. I'm going to be talking about Empires Apart. I mean, you could probably see that by the title, but I mean, for those that didn't read the title, I guess. So like I said, Empires Apart is an RTS game, just like Age of Empires. But if you ask me, this game is better than Age of Empires. It's a shame, honestly, that Empires Apart doesn't get the attention that it deserves. Like the Retract review, I'm going to be starting by giving you some personal background, I guess. I think this one's going to be a bit different. Than the other one. Anyway, if you don't want to hear it, you can skip, I don't know, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So yeah. In early January of this year, I'm making this review, my friend and I were playing CSGO, but after a while he got bored of it. He didn't want to play the game like anymore that day. So we started browsing the like this free to play category on Steam, and we came across a lot of bad games, like games that were practically jokes. But then we came across this game, which seemed kind of interesting, so we both downloaded it. He finished the download a bit before me, and he immediately got bored. But he gets bored of pretty much every game. Like he's well, him and I aren't even friends anymore. So I think I can say this. He's kind of fucking stupid. Okay, he wants everything to be as effective as possible, not as fun as possible. He doesn't like to have fun in life. He just likes things that are effective or something. Anyway, I started playing through the tutorial, but since he didn't want to play, I cancelled the tutorial and exited the game. But I still had it on my PC. Because, I mean, it didn't take up that much space, and I didn't even I never gave it like a proper playthrough. So then I got home, and I completely forgot about the game. I went to sleep. But then a couple of, I think, weeks later or something, I noticed it on my PC, and I was like, maybe I should give this thing a try. And that I did. And I was like immediately hooked. Like, the game is well, it was and is really fun. I played like 6 hours that day, and that was like after school, so I went to sleep pretty late as well. And then a couple of, I think, months of me playing that game, like 1 or 2, went by. But then I got my friends to play it, and we started having a lot of fun playing it. We played against each other, with each other, like against bots and stuff. But we don't even go to the same schools anymore, sadly. So we aren't exactly in touch that much, as much as we used to anyway. Which is a shame, so we don't really play it anymore. Okay, with that out of the way, it's time to move on to the actual review of the game. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is graphics. The graphics look, I mean, it's kind of like a unique graphic style. It's kind of hard to judge unique graphics that aren't supposed to be realistic. But I like this style of graphics. I don't think I've seen it that much before. It's kind of charming. I don't have anything to say about them, but they feel right. Okay, that's all I can say, really. Next thing, the soundtrack. Oh yeah, too bad that I fucking muted the soundtrack. But the soundtrack is great. Okay, it feels empowering. If I remember to do this, while editing, I'm going to, after I'm done talking about the soundtrack, I'm going to like put in a clip of the soundtrack from YouTube so you guys can hear it, or parts of it anyway. Even though it's like on a constant loop, it never feels boring or repetitive. It's, I don't know, it's always refreshing even though it's the same songs. So I mean, that's all I have to say when it comes to the soundtrack. There isn't that much to cover. So the next thing I want to bring up is gameplay. The gameplay in this game is great. Excellent, I'd say. So you have a lot of different modes to choose from. There's Conquest, which I'm playing right now in the gameplay. Then you have Assassination, where you have to kill the enemy team's general, which is like a special unit that's like extra tanky and stuff. There's Diplomacy, where you can, it's kind of like Conquest, but you can declare war and peace with other players. And then there's Diplomacy Assassination, which is the exact same thing, but with assassination instead. And then there's the Survival mode. Now that mode is pretty challenging actually. You have to survive as many knights as possible with attacks from different directions. I myself have not even gotten the first achievement, which is like 8 knights or 4 knights or something. I struggle a lot with that game mode. And then there's the challenge mode, which is, it lives up to its name. It's definitely a challenge. I mean, I've completed a couple of challenges, not more than like 4 or something. Like some you have to like frame them perfectly, like frame perfect, kind of, I think, or I just suck at the game. Could be that as well. I'm not good at strategy. But like, there's also, you can play both against bots and against people. I prefer playing against bots. I'm not sure why. I just don't like people. But you can play against people. You can make your own lobbies where you can set up like the map size, the map, population limit, how explored the map is going to be. And you can add bots and remove bots. It's really fun to play with friends. Okay, like against friends. Well, maybe not when they're being so fucking boastful. God, I hate that friend. But yeah, it's fun to play against friends. Or bots. Or randoms. It's fun to play. It's a good game when it comes to gameplay. Next thing I want to cover are the civilizations that the game has to offer. So just like Age of Empires 2, this game has civilizations. Although there's more emphasis on the civilizations, I'd say, in this game than Age of Empires 2. Write me if I'm wrong, I haven't played that much Age of Empires 2. But from what I've played, I couldn't really see that much of a difference between like Vikings and what other factions were there? There were Scottish or something. Anyway, no, there's a pretty large difference between each civilization. civilization in this game. Okay, so you have the Byzantines, you have the French, the Koreans, Chinese, Mongols, Aztecs, and Arabs, which is, yes, it's less than Age of Empires 2 has, but there's many differences between these. Okay, so they have their own unique benefits, they have their own like units, buildings, combat methods. Okay, so I can give you some examples. The Aztecs have spies, which can become invisible during, like, I think it's during the night and stuff. So that you can, like, scout out enemy bases with them without getting detected. And then you have, like, some special buildings. The Mongols are really different from the rest, actually. Their town, don't play as the Mongol. Wait, I'll cover that later. Anyway, they're all pretty balanced. They're all viable, from what I can tell. I haven't played all of them, but from like I've played against people and bots that have been using them, and from what I can see, they're pretty fair to play against, except for the Mongols, which are absolutely terrible. But let's not cover that. Let's forget about the Mongols. Sadly, the only standard civilization I have, except the Byzantines. Only one faction is free, however. Okay, so the rest you need to get either by spending real money or opening loot boxes. And now I've scared you off, because loot boxes are the scariest thing ever, right? Because EA have their fucking loot boxes that are pretty bad. But that's not the kind of loot box I'm talking about. No, these loot boxes are great, okay? You can get them super easily. You can do quests, and there's a quest for each. You can only play a quest once every 24 hours. But there's a quest that if you win a match, doesn't matter if it's against bots or not, or which settings, just win a match, and you'll get one loot box, or it's called an Emperor's Chest in game, but I'm gonna say loot box. You also get one from leveling up, and they've kind of changed the way you get loot boxes now, so I don't remember if they removed this or not. But back in the day, you used to get loot boxes by playing for a certain amount of time as well. So if they still have that, then you can get them from just playing as well. But loot boxes don't only contain shards for civilizations, no, they also contain cosmetic items, which are pretty cool. You want to make your characters look like snowmen? Well, there's a snowman head for that. You don't like the standard tools that the villagers use? Yeah, well, there's golden variants, there's silver variants. Oh, you like the cataphractus, but you don't like their ugly ass sword? Well, there's a golden sword for you to equip. Oh, you don't like French names sword? Oh, well, there's a really cool blue steel-ish sword that you can use. That's just examples. And if you get duplicates, you can just sell them on the Steam Community Market, because everything, all cosmetic items from this game can be sold on the Steam Community Market. All of them. All of the ones that you get from loot boxes anyway. And you can also sell the chests on the Steam Community Market, I think. Not sure about that. I haven't tried. I should try sometime, because they're worth quite a lot. Anyway, Empires Apart is a game that you should really check out. It's free. Okay, that's all I need to say, really. I mean, Age of Empires 2 costs, what, 15 euros or something, dollars on Steam. This game is free. I'm not a fan of RTS games, personally, okay? I don't like them. But this game, I love this game, okay? Even though it's an RTS. So, that should be saying something. And I'm not blinded by nostalgia for Age of Empires 2, which a lot of people are, but I'm not. So I can judge this game fairly without like any bias. And I can say that this game is actually better than Age of Empires 2, at least with modern standards. So if you have Steam, I'm not sure if it's on any other platform, but if you are on Steam, go check this game out. It's definitely worth a try. If you've played it, please tell me what you think about it in the comments. And if you haven't, but you've watched through the review, please tell me what you think. Are you going to download it or something? I mean, you can tell me. And you can also follow me on Twitter, link in the description. You can also add me on Discord. Not a link in the description, but I mean info in the description, I guess. Is there any other social medias I have? Yeah, you can add me on Steam as well. Name in the description. And some other stuff in the description. I'm not sure what I'm going to be adding to the description, but the video will have a description. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be, I'm not sure if it's going to be a game review or something else. But I'll see you in that video. Probably Skyrim, actually. I have a recorded Skyrim video. Anyway, this video's dragging on for too long. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.